There's categories.
Yeah.
Hey, and welcome to today's special Black Friday Ask Barn2 Anything live Q&A session. I'm Katie Keith, founder and CEO at Barn2 Plugins.
And I'm Sam Waynes, and I handle all of the videos on the Barn2 YouTube channel. And so I'm doing a lot of tutorials as well as these live streams with Katie where we answer your questions. So if you are watching us live today, if you've signed up and registered in advance, you may have submitted a question for us. We will be getting through all of those questions today, as well as any new questions that you submit during the live stream. So please do get your questions in as soon as you can, and we'll get to them as we go through the different plugins that we're featuring today. Now, Katie has some news for today.
Yep, so the main thing for today is it is Black Friday. We started our main sale on Tuesday, and we also had a live stream then if you want to go back and watch that. So today until Monday, we are doing 40% off all of our plugins. And if you are interested in our web development services that we introduced a few months ago, that's 20% off those. And we're also doing an exclusive offer just for people that watch this live stream. The first 10 people who use the coupon code AAP50 can get our all access pass of 19 plugins. Well, it's actually 20 now. I'll get to that for half price. So that is only on until the end of Monday, which is Cyber Monday. So you've only got a few days left to take advantage of the sale. And it's even more urgent if you're interested in that all access pass deal. So let's start off with some company news. Well, our last live stream was only 3 days ago, but we've already got some news since then, which is that we have released a live preview add-on for our WooCommerce product options plugin. And I'm going to show you that. And people have been asking about that for ages. And so we're very pleased that that is now available. So I'll give you a quick demo of our new live preview. And also the product options plugin that it is an add-on for. So
I missed this demo last time because of technical difficulties. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I had to do it on my own. So this is our WooCommerce product. Well, this is just a WooCommerce shop, but if you click to the shop pages, then it's our product options plugin, which is adding these options. If you know WooCommerce, you'll know that the variations are always displayed as drop downs. So our plugin adds different styles of options to your store. So there's all sorts of things you can do. Here you can even see conditional logic where you can use this checkbox to show and hide hidden options. So you can do lots of things that you can't do with just variations. But the live preview add-on adds something else to this. So we already had a file upload field, which you can see here. But what's new is the ability for customers to preview the file that they've uploaded. So I'm going to go and upload a file like this. And then you see it opens a live preview window where you can see a picture of me and my husband, Andy,
Nice
which
photo.
you can then, it was better than the one we had of Satya last week, which had a random team member as our sample photo. But anyway, so you can resize the image, you can move it around within the printable area. And the printable area is something that the store owner can set for each image in the back end. And then it appears on the jumper here on the product. You can add it to the cart. And I'll just go through the cart and show you that oh, I've got loads in my cart. Here we go. This is the one I just added. You can see that you've got the preview, so you can open it up and reassure yourself that the preview is being sent through to the store, and you can also see the actual image that you uploaded. So
Nice.
that
And
is,
for just a quick one, for all the Americans watching, a jumper is a hoodie like this.
oh. I always have this problem with my American WordPress friends. Actually, they say they understand 95% of what I say, but of course I understand everything they say because of American TV and films. So yeah, a bit uneven. So that is WooCommerce product options, and just some initial questions from customers. So we've got Eunice is interested in all plugins. So just keep watching and we will cover as many as we can.
Mhm. We just got a
Laura
live question from Joe about this plugin that you just demoed. Let's check that one out.
is relevant. So what if you offer a front and back image, right? Am I still screen sharing? I am. Okay,
Yep.
so I'm going to go back to the demo and find one that I added that to. I only did that yesterday, so I'm hoping it actually works. I'm not sure it's completely set up right on the demo yet, but that's not a good idea. Personalized mug. So here we've got a mug. If it doesn't work, then it's because the demo is not fully set up because this was launched like a day ago. So then we've got the front of the mug. So I'll click apply, or is it the back? If you look at my Twitter today, there is a raging debate on what is the front and back of a mug, because my designer and I disagree on this.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
It just
he put
depends on which hand you use, right?
yeah, so right-handed people have the handle on the right, surely. So I said to him yesterday, can I just ask, are you left-handed? And he said, no. I was like, well, why would you put the handle on the left? Anyway, so I'm going to click this conditional logic option, and then I'm going to upload something to the back. And I don't know how tested this is. Like I say, it's new. Another picture of me, just what you needed. And I'm not sure it's fully set up yet, but in theory, that should appear. Oh, it's the wrong file type. Well, that's no use because it's not. Right, so now we can put the image on the back as well. So then you can have one image for the front and one for the back, and then they will both go through to the cart.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get product options now, so the WooCommerce product options plugin, there's a choice of two options. You can buy it on its own or with live preview. So that because obviously live preview is quite a specific use case.
Yeah, but I would argue it greatly improves the functionality of the plugin, and you could really create a whole. It upgrades it from just an options click a button kind of thing to an actual product like what's the word? Oh,
Configurator?
yeah, I had the word and then it's gone. Configurator works, yeah.
Mm.
So it really increases the functionality of the plugin, especially if you're the sort of person who's already offering customizable products in the first place. Then that's definitely useful. And we have more plans for this plugin down the line. There will be new features added, which I won't try to presume exactly what they will be yet, as we're just discussing them
Yeah,
now.
we can
But this
say
is the
text though.
first
Text previews we can promise. That's the big
text
plan.
previews. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
we can promise that. All right, cool. Then down the road, no promises on dates, but it's happening.
yeah.
It's in the works.
Okay. So next, comment really from Laurie.
Mhm.
I'm looking at your plugins for a client. I'm back here as I was a year ago. Yeah, we started our live streams a year ago. We have had
Mhm.
a challenging year, but are ready to go heads down on product options and pricing discounts. So that would be also our WooCommerce Discount Manager plugin. So now let's get
Nice.
into questions about WooCommerce product options. And I've given you a nice challenging one, Sam.
Mhm.
Actually, we haven't mentioned the challenge, have we?
No.
Speaking of challenges, so we've decided to go a bit off-piste for this live stream and do something we haven't done before, which is that Sam is going to set me a challenge of setting up the functionality of 6 of our plugins in 10 minutes. And we only
Mhm.
decided this an hour before going live, so I have not had a chance to practice. So we will see how well do I know the plugins. But
Mhm.
first of all, I have a smaller challenge for Sam. which is Katrine's question. She says, I'm opening a store that sells customized curtains. I need to calculate the quantity of fabric in centimeters price and with multiple color variations. Will product options work? And she goes on to ask, I also need an option to choose what fullness they want for their curtains. And the calculator adds 100% or 110% fullness and so on. And they get a price for that.
Yep. So no word of a lie. I had to Google what fullness meant with curtains. And I'll just explain it in case anyone is unaware, like I was. Basically, curtains, you can cut a rectangle for a curtain, but curtains are actually hung closer together than that. They're not fully stretched out all the time. So fullness just describes how much extra material there will be to cover the space. If you have, say, for example, 2 meters wide, and you add 50% fullness, then you'll get 3 meters of curtain in the end that'll bunch together into 2 meters. So yeah, that's what the fullness means. And so I figured out how to set this up with our product options plugin, which I'm just going to preview first for this so we can see what I'm going to build. And then I'm going to build it from scratch. So let me just first show you what the product looks like when it's complete and ready to go. I did click on share screen, and it's just, is it gonna work today?
Am I gonna have to do all the screen shares like last time?
No, please. Okay, why is it not? I was testing earlier, and it was all working, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. Is it a layout thing? No. Present?
No, mine worked. Just present share screen.
Oh, share screen, and then nothing happens. I click on it, and nothing happens. So, okay, I'll at least you have the link to this, right? In the
is it in the Google Doc?
Yeah, in the comments. Yeah. Sorry, Katie.
Just finding it. Oh yeah.
I could try jumping out, refreshing, and coming back, but that will take a while.
Right. I'm in. Okay, so I will share my screen. Custom curtains. Can you see that?
Yeah, maybe there's something not right though, because I disabled it. That's why. Let me just re-enable it so it works. You'll just have to refresh the page.
Oh yeah, the product options are loading now.
Yeah. Yeah, I disabled it so I could rebuild it and it wouldn't show up twice on the product. That's why. So what we're looking at here is, first of all, they wanted color options. That's very easy for the plugin to do. You can make it a required option, so people have to choose a color from what's available. And then we have the fullness option. And this is, you add a description so the customer knows exactly what they're doing. They need to enter a whole number between whatever your parameters are, in this case, 50% to 200%. And then that's taken into account later in the formula. So then the customer basically puts in the dimensions of the curtain width and length that they need. So let's put in something like, 100 by maybe something like that, 180. And maybe use some nice easy numbers like 100s across the board or something like that. And we'll kind of see how it works with the price. Okay. So basically what the fullness is doing, if you add 100%, is it's doubling the width in the formula and then multiplying it by the length to give us our total. Oh, now it says it's working. So I'm sharing my screen apparently.
I think that's my screen.
No, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Something's...
Should I stop sharing my screen and then see if you can do it? Okay, you have a go now.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. It showed up for a second that I was sharing my screen and then it just disappeared. But let me try one more time. Let's check that question from Ian. I don't know. This is beyond comprehension. Katie, I'm going to try restarting my browser and see if that fixes the issue. So I'll just jump out and jump back in.
Okay, well, I'll get to Ian's question in the meantime then. So Ian says, can you use this plugin with variations to set a different price on a per unit basis? I don't completely understand that either, but there are several ways it works with variations. One is coming soon, which is that instead of creating the options in our plugins interface, you'll actually be able to create normal product variations and display them as options. So as color swatches, as checkboxes and things like that. So they're a different way of displaying variations. You can also use variations, which I think might be closer to what Ian is saying, in a price formula. So there's a price formula, which Sam will show us in more detail in a minute if he gets his screen sorted. And with the price formula, you can use various things as variables in the formula, which would then affect the price. So you can select attributes and variations and things like that, dimensions, quantities, other options, all sorts of things you can use to affect the price. So I think something clever with price formulas would probably solve what Ian is saying, because you can do a lot with price formulas. Sam has completely vanished now. So I will go to a comment from Joe, who is on my side on the mug debate. Correct. It's handled to the right. More people are right-handed. That's exactly what I thought, because you're holding it with your strong hand and you're looking at the front of the mug, aren't you? So that's what I think. And according to my Twitter poll, about 2/3 of people agree with that. So there you go. Fairly pointless debate that we are having. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm back. I'm going to try sharing my screen and see what happens. Okay, I've clicked all the buttons. We just wait. And nothing. Oh, my goodness. This is all I can... Oh, it's working. Okay. Awesome.
Oh, we can see something.
Yeah. Okay, great. So this is the product options backend. So these are all the product option groups that I have created on this demo site. This is the curtains one you just saw. I'm going to hide
We can't
that.
actually see anything, Sam. It's just a loading animation.
Oh my.
Shall I do it?
Ah, yes. I can send you
Okay.
the link at least. So you're not or you can just click on edit from the
I can.
page you were on.
Do we want to edit the product or the product options?
Let's just have a look at how the options group was created.
Okay, so we're going to products, product options,
Yep.
and we have a curtains one here. Okay, you talk me through it then.
Cool. So first of all, the color swatches. Actually, right at the top, we set a name for it that we like. In this case, curtains, and we can apply it to any product or product category that we want. We can apply it to the whole store or just have some exclusions. Basically, you just choose which products you want to apply it to. And then down in the options section, these are all added sort of one by one as you need. So I started with color because I thought that's something that the customer would like to see first. And this is using the color swatches option type. And if you scroll down, can you just show how the color picker works? Because I think that's important to see.
So I'll
So
go and
yeah,
add another one then.
exactly.
Then you
And you
click
can
that.
find the hex code for, or even there's other ways to choose colors, hex and probably RGB, something like that. And or you can just click and drag until you find the color you like, but probably you'll be using a hex code. And you can also add an additional price for any color. If you were adding a pattern, however, for example, like a floral pattern, I would do that with image buttons and not with the color swatches because you can't really show a pattern using the colors.
Have we got any of those? We don't, do we? No,
No,
you said.
I didn't add them this time, but I thought it was worth mentioning in case your curtains had patterns and you have some kind of image for that pattern, like a floral pattern, for example.
Yeah, so that
Then
would just be a clickable
Mhm,
image. So instead of having a color, you would upload an
mhm,
image of the relevant color that
mhm.
we want swatches.
Yeah, exactly. So those are pretty straightforward. You set them to required if the customer must choose a color, which I guess in this case that is the case. So and then there's really no other settings there, so we can move on to the next one, which is already a number entry type. So it's we have text inputs, paragraph inputs, and number inputs. And if you request a number input, that basically limits the amount of the type of information that can be added by the customer to just numbers. And further down, we'll narrow down which numbers they can use and whether they can use decimals and all that. So I've added a label which specifies what the customer should do in this section. And then I added a description which explains, well, perhaps not so precisely, but it does explain about what fullness is. So if they're unfamiliar as a customer, they'll figure it out. And then in the advanced settings, I've set a default value to 100. So that's just you set that up as the store, whatever your default value is. And then I also specified whole number and between 50 and 200. This is simply something that you as the expert, the store owner would know what to do in this case. And you can set your variables that way. And that's all for that one. The next two are also number types, and they're just length and width, though they're basically the same. You just change the labels. Yeah, nothing too fancy there. And then the formula is where it gets a little fun. So first of all, we choose price formula. And then I set up a couple of custom variables for the formula at the bottom there. And I set up area, which is something we did for our last demo of this plugin. And area is defined as width times length, but in this case, we're converting it into square meters. So we just divide each of those variables by 100 to get the meter number rather than the centimeter number, because we asked the customer for centimeters, but we price it per meter. That's the only reason why we do that. But basically, it's just length times width. And then we convert the fullness percentage value into something that actually makes sense in our formula. So rather than multiplying the formula by 100 for 100%, we're just going to multiply it by an extra 1, basically. So we're just, and also we don't want to multiply the entire area by this fullness because it only affects the width. So fullness is something that affects only the width. We double the width for 100%. So we only want to impact that in our formula. So you can see here, I've got the fullness extra fabric, which is the option, not group, but the number input field that we just discussed earlier. So that's taking the percentage, maybe it's 50%, maybe it's 100%, and then it's dividing it by 100 just to give us a number like 0.5 or 0.1. We multiply that by the width, again divided by 100, and then we pull that into our formula. So fullness converted times plus area times product price gives us our final price. I know that's a lot of math, but
Okay.
each step makes sense. So there's a reason for doing these extra steps. Doing it all in the formula is, I guess, technically possible, but it makes it a little harder to account for errors if you make a mistake. I initially set it up multiplying in the fullness by everything, by the full area, and then I realized that's wrong. You have to only take into account the width. So that's why I changed it.
And there's a lot of things like that, but different, that you can do with price formulas. That's just one of thousands of examples that you could use. So I've just put a knowledge base article on the screen, a link to that, so that you can read about all the different things you can do with price formulas. But measurement price calculators like the curtains are probably the most popular use case. So let's move on then to our next plugin, which is WooCommerce Bulk Variations then.
I have the page if you want the link.
Oh,
You
yeah,
have that already.
I think I'm all right. My computer will remember it.
It's quite cropped on our screen, like vertically cropped.
There we go.
Okay. Nice one. So Bulk Variations is a plugin for editing in the back end, a lot of variations all at once, and displaying variations on the front end in this nice grid layout where you get the horizontal and vertical axes. So you can effectively display all of the variations on the page without having to take up way too much space, and also without having to hide them behind drop down selection boxes and things like that. So it makes the process of bulk ordering many variations much faster and easier for customers. And also they can visually see what they're picking rather than just choosing from drop down menus. So it's a much friendlier way to display bulk variations. And also on the back end, you can filter variations and change certain aspects like images, prices, SKUs in a much quicker way than normally, where you would have to go and pick each individual variation and change it, which would take you all day if you had hundreds of variations, like many people do.
Okay, and our first question about this plugin is from Joe, who says, will the product options file upload viewer also work with bulk variations? Example, variation horizontal size, variation vertical color. If the customer order a blue and a red shirt, can he get a proof of both items? So I'll show you what it does now. And actually in the comments, Joe, I'd really appreciate your input on how you would like it to work, because it's not obvious, and I'll explain now why. So I'm going to go to a different demo product, which does have the live preview. So for this one, we've got a fairly generic main product image, and that is intentional. And then we've got the usual bulk variations grid with the sizes and the colors. And then we've got WooCommerce product options where you can upload a picture. So I will find a picture and upload it. And oh, I don't know why live preview isn't appearing. It was earlier. The problem is this is a very new demo. So when I tested this earlier, live preview was appearing, but only for the main product image. So I've somehow managed to disconnect that and need to fix that. But the way it doesn't like my file again, does it? Weird. Okay. So the way it works, the normal image file, is that when you upload it, the main image updates to show you the live preview, but not the different variation colors. And that's because they're not like selectable in the same way as on the normal variations, where you select one at a time from a drop down. So imagine it's a normal variable product. You select red, you do the preview, you add red to the cart, and then you repeat the process. You then select green, you then do a preview for green and add that to the cart. With bulk variations, you're not doing that. You're adding them all to the cart at once. So there's kind of no point at which you would customize the preview for each image. So technically it's possible, but we haven't developed that yet because we haven't quite figured out the UI. So we'd appreciate any feature requests and ideas on what you think would be a good process based on the way you need that to work in your store. And we can use that to make a more informed plan about how to implement it. But for now, there'll be one preview image which appears, and that will appear in the cart along with the preview on it, alongside, say, the red t-shirt that doesn't have the preview, and so on. So it does work at the moment, but not for the individual variation images. So that was...
We had some pre-submitted questions from Joe about it, or did we answer those already?
They were the same ones as the live one, so I think we're done on that. But I would really appreciate any comments on how Joe and other people think that should work in a user-friendly way. Because when we went through it, like on team meetings and so on, we haven't found a good solution, and we only want to develop something that will be really intuitive for the user.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's move off WooCommerce for a bit, because this is quite a WooCommerce heavy live stream today. So Alan wants to know about our document library plugin just in general. So I'm going to switch to that now before we go back to WooCommerce. So people think of us as a WooCommerce company, but actually our most popular plugin is a document library plugin. So this is our Document Library Pro plugin, which has basically provides a way to add any type of document library or resource library or audio library or any type of resource to your WordPress site. So in this example, we've got various different types of resource, like we've got meeting minutes, which you can download, or you can click a preview to view a preview of it. This is like a Google Drive preview that's part of the plugin. You can view audio directly in it and videos and all sorts of things like that. And it comes with different views, such as folder view. A lot of universities, local government type organizations use Document Library Pro with the folder view because it kind of replicates the file structure on a computer. And so a lot of maybe less technical users are very familiar with that way of navigating to resources. And then we've also got a kind of more visually appealing grid view, which has sort of larger images and so on, and puts a bit more emphasis on each document while still having the same information. And in the back end of Document Library Pro, it's you get I'll show you actually, you get a document section in the WordPress admin where you can add all your documents. The reason there's so many is because it also comes with a front end file upload form so that general visitors to the website can upload a document. So all these drafts are just people who have visited our demo and tested it out. If I go to the last page, which is actually documents that we added, then they look a bit more professional there. And you also get things like import, where you can drag and drop, or you can prepare a CSV of all your resources. So it makes document management really easy. And your documents can be either stored in your media library, or they can also be in anywhere on the web. So I'll show you here. This is where you add or edit a document. You add various information, and then with this one, we've uploaded a file, but we could equally have entered the URL of where that file was on Dropbox or Microsoft OneDrive or YouTube, Vimeo, anywhere. So there's lots of different places you can keep your documents, and then you can add all this data about them so that people can find the documents and filter for them and all of that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's obvious or not to viewers, but are the documents themselves, it's kind of like a custom post type.
It's exactly a custom post type, yeah, with the document specific functionality added to it, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
people have a lot of uses for this plugin that we don't even imagine when we advertise it. So it's always fun to come up with new ways to think about how people might use it, because it's just so flexible in that sense.
yeah, I get really excited when someone tells me a new use case, actually, because that's, well, it's a marketing opportunity as much as anything, or we can write an article about it and find a whole new group of people who are interested, like using it as a SharePoint alternative or something like that we may not have thought of.
Alan wants to know, is there an integration with Dropbox? Well, as Katie just mentioned, it's not a integration as such, but you can link to your Dropbox files immediately through this. But there is an integration with Google Sheets, or am I getting that mixed up with another plugin?
In terms of the preview, yeah, so there was, which one did I show earlier? I did show one that, no, that's not Google Sheet. I did open one earlier, didn't I, which actually had a, yeah, this is it. This is, well, not Google Sheet, Google Drive. Generally. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, how do you want to answer this? Because we could just say, well, you can link everything from your Dropbox, but is that really what they're thinking about? Or are they thinking about something where they want to just connect the two and not have to create documents in the first place?
I was recently investigating that regarding how to automatically create and maintain documents that are stored somewhere else. And the best way I came up with was using Zapier, which is the automation tool. And it's not perfect, but there are ways to do some of that automatically if you don't want to be adding each document individually and then adding the link to Dropbox. So I'd recommend going to our knowledge base, and there's an article about how to dynamically generate documents from places like that. So Joe says, can you monetize the items? In Document Library Pro, no, because it's not e-commerce. But we do have an almost identical looking plugin called WooCommerce Product Table, which will be part of the challenge in a minute that I will have to set up in less than 10 minutes. And so have a look at WooCommerce Product Table with documents in mind. So you would add each document as a digital product in WooCommerce, and then you would display it in a table layout. But instead of having download buttons like you've got in Document Library Pro, you would have things like variations, maybe to choose the file format if that was appropriate, and the buy buttons, of course.
Yeah, I've seen a great implementation of WooCommerce Product Table for digital products on a music website called musamax.com. Musamax, Musamax. It's a great website if you want to see product table being used to sell digital products. I think the answer to thanks, Katie. This is a great implementation. And if you actually click on the buy button, it also uses our quick view plugin to display more information
it's
about.
broken. Right, we'll have to contact them and help them with that. That was working
Oh,
before, wasn't
it
it?
wasn't doing that yesterday. I was just
No,
checking out the site yesterday and it wasn't. So
no.
yeah, I hope it's and you were saying we were having some anyways. Maybe it's just something that's come in an update. Yeah.
Yeah, something
Just
not
going
right there.
back
Yeah,
to
I'll make a note to contact them.
Yeah, just going back to Alan, he said they're trying to keep their web space as low as they can, so offsite would be great. Well, if you're linking to Dropbox items through our document library plugin, there's absolutely no impact on your site that way. It's just going to pull, the file information from that URL, right? So it's not actually saving that document on your website itself on the server. It's just linking to it.
Yeah. He also says users will be able to upload and they generally have no concept of size. I wonder what method you'd use to upload to Dropbox. I'm not sure. I think the front end upload form in our plugin stores to the media library rather than Dropbox. So you might want to use something like Gravity Forms to do a more bespoke document upload or something. And there is an article on our site about how to use Gravity Forms to create a more advanced document upload, which will save to the post type, and you can also do other clever stuff with it. So I think to store user documents on Dropbox, you need to maybe create your own form.
Yeah, it might not necessarily need to work on WordPress. They might just have a link to upload documents that takes them to Dropbox, and then you could have a automation where when somebody adds an item to that Dropbox folder, you could get either a notification about it or you could set up the process for linking to that document. But I'm not sure how far you can take that automation because I haven't tried it myself.
Well, Ian from Kestrel says, sync your product upload to Amazon S3 with that amazing plugin from Kestrel. I don't actually know that Kestrel plugin, but yeah, check that out then.
Amazon S3.
Okay. So, and on the document side of things, you were saying about when they submit the form, you could use Zapier to create or something like that as well. So there's various options, but there's a few things to combine.
Is it time for a little challenge now, Katie?
It is. So before we start that, let's say we've got through all the pre-submitted questions. So now I'm going to do my challenge of how many plugins I can set up in 10 minutes. And so in the meantime, if you've got any more questions you'd like us to answer afterwards, then be typing them during the challenge.
I'd also like to take this moment to mention that it is, of course, Black Friday. It's the main reason why we're on the air today. But of course, we want to answer your questions as they come in. But yeah, also remind you that we have 40% off our plugins. That's only until Monday. So really, it's if you haven't got them yet, you might be running out of time. And the other great thing is if you're watching live, you can save 50% off our all access pass, which includes now 20 different plugins. And that's just using the code AAP50. at checkout. Some people get a little confused. If you're buying individual plugins, use the normal Black Friday code. If you want the all access pass and 50% off, use this code AAP50. All right. Thanks for joining us, Alan, and we'll see you on the next one, I'm sure. All right. Now let's jump into the challenge for Katie. So, how well does Katie know our plugins? So my first challenge for Katie, should we just jump in like this, or did you want to? I can add a little more context for
Let's
the
go through
viewers.
them all so people know what to expect
Yeah,
and how much
sure.
I have to do in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's quite a lot actually. 10 minutes. I'm gonna have a little timer on my side here. So first challenge, you need to add filters above the list of products for the average rating plus the stock, and a few filters on the sidebar for categories, color, and price. Second challenge is to display the shop page as an order form rather than the typical grid layout. And that should include images, name, short description, price, and add to cart buttons, plus checkboxes with variation dropdowns and quantity. Okay, so that's pretty good stuff for our product table. Add a global discount of 40% to all of our products. Okay. And make sure there's a site-wide minimum order value of $100 and allow shoppers to view and complete their purchase without leaving that main shopping page. So we don't want to have a multi-page process, just a single page process. And then finally, password protect the whole store. If you get through all of this in 10 minutes, you can run the whole company. How about that?
Thank you. What if I don't? Are you taking over?
Then I get it. That's the deal. You're signing
The
up for
stakes are
today.
high.
All right.
Right.
So I'm going to leave this banner up, and I'll switch the banners if we need to later.
Okay. So
Yeah.
before we start,
Mhm.
I'm going to share my screen and show what starting point we've got. So I have a WooCommerce store, and it has 5 of the 6 plugins already active that I need. And I will tell you later why I couldn't activate the 6th, because that would actually add the functionality. It's so easy to use. Oh, there's one accidentally live, so I'm just going to remove one that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I saw that, cheater.
Yeah, that should not be there. Trying to deactivate everything. Right. So most of them are now inactive. So get rid of that. Okay.
Sorry, Katie,
so
while you do that, can we just answer Joe here? Is there a lifetime all access pass? How does that work?
Right, there isn't. And the reason is that our all access pass includes future plugins that we haven't released yet. And we don't know what plugins we will build in the future. And therefore, basically, there's just no way we could value them. We don't know what we would charge for a lifetime all access pass, because that could be like, many plugins over many years. Or not, it depends on our future strategy and direction and so on. So it feels more kind of safe and responsible for everybody to do it on a yearly basis, so that you get your license that you buy today. It will cover all future plugins released in the last year. For example, I just emailed all our all access pass customers about 2 hours ago to tell them we've added live preview to your all access pass. And earlier in the year, we added discount manager to it and so on. So that feels more predictable what we would do in the next year rather than forever.
All right. Now, Katie, how well do you know our plugins? Let's start off.
See.
Let's start up. Look, we can do them in order, but do you have a timer somewhere? Or
I think
I can start one and give you updates, but I can't share my screen because apparently it's not working.
Well, given that my camera didn't work and I'm on my 15-inch MacBook screen, I would rather not have a timer in the corner. So can you just say by the minute? You've got 9 minutes left, and then I panic.
Sure. Okay, I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, so I have to add filters. So we're going to do
those seconds tick down real quick. My goodness.
So I'm going to add some filter groups using our WooCommerce product filter plugin. So first I want above shop filters. And can you remind me, Sam, what filters I am creating?
Yeah, I'll read them out. So above, you want average rating.
Can you
and
talk faster?
in stock.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do type
You've
pretty
been
fast,
waffling
actually.
on. So I'm going to call it in stock, and then I'm going to choose it as a filter. I want it to be in stock.
Rating as well.
Thank you. Right, filter rating, no styles for that.
Okay,
Right,
so
so
you've
I've
done
added
that.
my
So
filter group.
sidebar, we want
So
category,
now I want, hang
color,
on,
and
I
price.
have to create a
Oh.
new filter group. So it's sidebar filters.
Sidebar, okay.
So we want category. So I'm going to choose a category filter, and I'm going to make it pretty. Let's choose images.
Oh, nice.
And I just want the image. I don't want the name. Yeah,
Yep.
cool. Okay,
Color
next.
and price.
So color is color, and I want that to be pretty as well. I should say that I have already configured colors on this link here. So if you were setting up the plugin from scratch, you would need to do that. Price.
Yeah, it's an attribute in WooCommerce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Price filters.
So price filter, that just appears as a range. Anything else?
No, that's it. So you've got 2 on the top and 3 on the side.
I hope so. So let's now go to the filter settings page. Oh, it's regenerating the index in the background. It might not look good straight away then. So we need to select shop filters above shop. So here I'm selecting my filter group. I'm going to ignore everything else and click save. Now I need to add the sidebar filter. So I'm going to appearance widgets, and I'm going to add a product filters widget. Which is that one, and I'm going to just give this a name.
I always
and I
forget
want my
this step
sidebar.
and then wonder why my filters aren't showing up.
Yeah, it's hard because it's the way WooCommerce itself is structured that it is a bit disjointed. Right, here we go. I have added in stock filter. I've rating
Don't take
filter.
too long showing it off because you're
okay,
1/4 of the way
next?
through your time.
Is it product? Oh my god,
nice
am
job.
I?
Okay, challenge
product
number
table.
2.
This is the new
Display
table
the
builder
shop
that we
page
built
in an order form view, including the product image.
I want to display it on the shop page. There we go, shop page. Product image, name.
Yeah, short description, price, and add to cart buttons, plus
isn't that
checkboxes with
convenient?
variation, drop downs, and quantity. That's all there?
So
oh, nice.
Checkbox and buttons, quantity, variations. That's all things you said. No filters because we've done that in the other plugin. Right, visit shop.
Well, that was fast.
How long did I set product table up in?
Oh, that was less than a minute. Yeah.
Cool. Keep going. What's next?
Okay, 3. We have add a global discount of 40% on all products.
Right. Well, that will require our discount plugin, which is marketing discounts. Create your first discount, a simple discount. This is going to take like 10 seconds, isn't it? Global 40%. A simple discount, all products, percentage of 40. Everything else is fine as it is.
Yeah.
Right, back to the shop.
Always active. Okay.
There we go. Everything is discounted.
That was fast.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to smash this challenge. So challenge number 4, add a site-wide minimum order value of $100.
Right. So WooCommerce settings.
And you just crossed yeah, so you're just over 5.5 minutes to go now.
What am I setting? A site-wide minimum order value.
Minimum order value $100. Yeah.
100. Okay. Right. Let's test that.
Yeah, I think that's going to require
I'm going
testing.
to add one thing to the cart. Go to the cart. What's my total? 105. Well, that's no use. Let's remove some things. There we go. Your cart total must be at least 100 before you can complete your order. What's next?
No, this is too easy for you. Challenge 5, allow shoppers to view and complete their purchase without leaving the main shop page.
Right, I just deactivated fast cart, so I'm going to go fast cart and find that. Here we go.
Yeah.
Now, if you were activating it for the first time, the setup wizard would open, but I am not. So I'm going to WooCommerce settings, fast cart. So I want it to appear in a centered pop-up. I want it to open automatically, and I want people to be able to check out. Don't
Sorry,
want
do
to
you
skip
really
the
want it to
cart.
open automatically? Would that trigger when you hit add all to cart or when you click on any product?
Let's see.
I'm
So,
not sure you
right.
want it to pop up automatically.
Why not?
Um, well, because people want to order multiple things, right? On this form,
Okay. Well,
maybe?
that isn't mentioned in the brief.
Ah,
And you can
okay, that's
also do
true.
that, and so either way, it also opens.
Is it just the
Oh,
cart or is it also the checkout?
good point. I'm going to go to the checkout, and
Okay,
here we
yeah, it's
have
also
our
there.
checkout. That is not my real address, so that's fine that I'm screen
All right.
sharing. Okay.
I'm ready to give you challenge number 6, password protect your whole store.
Oh, that's really easy. Okay. So
Mhm,
we want private store, WooCommerce private store. So you might want to
mhm,
do this if it was like a wholesale only store or a membership
mhm.
site or not launched yet or something. So I'm going to go WooCommerce settings, private store, and I'm going to set a password, my password, which is not secure, but that doesn't matter. And I'm even going to set an extra one because we have more time.
Mhm.
Barn2 pass there. Um,
That's not your
and
home computer password, is it?
no, and also this is not this license key. I'm going to deactivate immediately after this as
Ah,
well
okay. Good
because
idea.
I knew that would be visible. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
now I'm going to go to the store, and it is requiring a password. So I'm going to write Barn2 pass and click login. And
Cool.
now I have my unlocked store.
Do you
Have
have
I
time to
finished?
make a login page, or is that too much? Because you have 3 minutes left.
Oh, yeah, let's do nothing for a while. Right. So that's like 1 minute and 15 seconds per plugin or something, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. You finished in just over 7 minutes.
Wow. Maybe I
Yeah,
should do Jamie's
very
speed
impressed.
build that I declined. No, I'm not doing that. Anyway, so we're doing a login page. So let's modify it. So my hidden store.
This is more just basic WooCommerce stuff, or is this in the plugin?
This is
This is
all my
in the
this is
plugin.
all WooCommerce private store. So I'm going to change the passwords in the hope I can trigger it again.
Mm.
Yeah. So it was Barn2 pass 1,
Mhm.
wasn't it? So this is the text I just entered.
Oh, nice. So that is the login
Yeah.
page. Awesome.
And
And
also
so
on
will people land
with
on that
private
page when
store,
they get to the websites?
yes.
Ah,
Well,
okay.
when they get to not the whole site, but a WooCommerce page.
Yep.
So the home page won't be hidden. But I'm going to do an even more power user thing, which is, where's it gone? Logged in users. I want to automatically unlock the store for logged in users, even though that's not part of the challenge, because if you're an
Uh-huh.
administrator, for example, it's a pain to have to enter a password. So you can either do it for all roles or you can choose administrator or something like that.
Mhm. Well, you have still more than a minute left, so congratulations. You get to keep your CEO role at the company, as much as
Excellent.
it
You
pains me to
lost.
say. Thanks for showing us, Katie, how all of those plugins work together on a single page or a single site, I should say. And obviously, most of our plugins have this kind of mix and match style where you can add and subtract plugins as needed, and that's why the All Access Pass is a great idea. I don't see any new questions. Oh, we just got one comment from Joe. Uh-huh. Is the front end design Elementor friendly? Well, all of our plugins are Elementor friendly, but you may not see exactly what will be on the front end while you're editing in the Elementor builder because that's just part of the nature of the back end versus front end display within Elementor. So for things like our product table, you can use like a short code, but you're not going to see the whole table previewed in the back end. You're going to have to check how it looks. Is that right? Am I on the right track
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Yeah, so with like Elementor, let's say you were creating a product table, you could do the method I just used, or it also comes with short codes so that you can put those in an Elementor short code. I think they're called widgets in Elementor. I always
Mm.
forget. and things like that. If you're using the filter plugin, then I think there's an extra setting in Elementor which we added, like a checkbox or something, to enable that to work with an Elementor built layout. So go to the product filters knowledge base and it will tell you how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe says, I just ordered the 5-site all access pass. Recently had an issue and support team was excellent. That is what pushed my purchase over the top. Excellent. Thank you for that. I will tell the support team.
Yeah, no, we love getting comments about that, because it's definitely, I mean, even in our internal Slack channel, we get these sort of comments I would say on a daily basis, and it's really cool to see how people are enjoying just the support in general.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Well, I think we have gone through everything we can go through for today. And obviously, those of you who are watching live, you're already aware that today is Black Friday. Our next live stream is on Cyber Monday, which is, I guess, more in theme for our digital products, but we still participate the whole Black Friday week, so people get the discounts all the way through. That'll be our last chance to get those deals. So if you're looking at purchasing something, get it now, get it over the weekend, and Monday's your last chance for those specific prices for those deals that we basically just do once a year. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us, watching us. Sorry about my technical difficulties once again, but I'm going to try and sort that before Monday.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye.